guys, TapHD here and welcome back to another video. Now today I've got the GTX 760 on the desk, and if you saw the last video you will know that two of the fans do not work. It was sold to me as working, well in fact two were sold to me, the other one's now on its way because he didn't notice that I bought two and paid for two, so that's on its way. He's definitely tested that one and knows that all three fans are working. I've got a picture of it working. Exactly why he didn't test this one, I don't know, but we've been in contact and he wants me to try and take this thing apart and see if there's anything stuck in the fans. He seems adamant that it's dust. I don't think it's dust. I can't see that dust would block up the fans like this. If we look, this fan moves absolutely fine. This one gets stuck and I do need to use a lot of force to get it past, and if you can hear that, that does not sound like dust to me, and it's the same with this one, but I've already taken the screws out of this one to take a closer look. So yeah, I don't think it's dust, but I guess we're going to try and find out, and we're going to see if I can fix it. And if not, I guess I'm going to have to buy new fans, which I can do. I just don't really think I should because I've been sold a faulty product, so maybe eBay will have to get involved if the seller doesn't want to. So let's try and take this thing apart. I've not looked at any instructions on how to do this, but let's just give it a go. So there's three fans holding each fan into this plastic bit. Of course, I've taken the first three out for this one, so that fan is now loose, and I guess I need to do the same to the other two. Even though this one's fine, I think I'm going to have to unscrew that too for when we take the plastic shroud off. So I'm not going to stop filming, I'm just going to keep rolling until this is done, and I'll probably either speed up the bits where I'm unscrewing or just cut them out. So yeah, let's just get started. Good job I've got a magnetic screwdriver because these screws are very small and very hard to get out from between the fan fins here. So yeah, I've got to be careful not to drop it, but yeah, should be fine. There we go. Another one out, one more on this fan. Okay, so I've now got all the screws out of the three fans. They should, yep, be loose now. But to take this plastic off, I'm not exactly sure what I've got to do. There, let's just take a look. Okay, so I can see one screw there, and then there's one on the other side as well. And I probably need to take the back plate off as well, so there is a screw above the HDMI, and I'll also have to take these screw areas off the DVI as well. I think, yeah, one more screw behind there as well. So to get those off, I'm probably going to have to find my pliers. So good job my toolbox is here. Let's take a look, see if I've got anything that can help with this. Okay, I've got my pliers for when we need to take those off. I'll leave those for last because I don't really like to do that sort of thing, and yeah, that's definitely going to have to come off because I can see behind there is also a screw. So yeah, quite a lot of screws, but this is what the seller wants me to do, so I probably have to do it. And also I should probably unplug the fan connector from in there as well, so I guess I just have to pull, or maybe not, I'm not too sure. I'll do that later. I don't really want to break it, that is not going to be very good. So yeah, let's now take out all of the screws. I don't actually think I had to unscrew that one down here, it doesn't seem to be attached to the rest of the plastic, so I'll put that one back on, and yeah, now I will do the rest. Okay, I've got the two screws off this side holding it down, and now I need to take this back plate off. So first I can take the screw out. No, yeah, I need to take that one out. That down there, and now I need to unscrew these, or can I? I might, no, it's definitely going to have to come off. I thought I might have been able to get my screwdriver behind, but no, definitely not. So yeah, now I've got to use my pliers. I don't really like using these on this sort of thing. I've done it once before on a graphics card. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, I've got to do it. They're not on too tight, so it should not be too much of a problem. I just really don't want to break this any more than it already is, because it should be quite easy to get replacement fans if necessary, but if I break one of these connectors, it's more likely that the whole card will have to be replaced, and that's not really something I'm too keen on. One more of these now on the bottom DVI. I think this is dual link DVI at the bottom. I always get confused about the DVI types. The only time I ever use it is with my PowerMac G5, so not very often. Okay, those are now out, and it doesn't seem to be coming off, so yeah, there's that screw I said I didn't need to take off. I do need to take off because it's also holding this back plate down, so yeah, that's going to have to come off, and I'll have to remember that the black screw is for here. All the other screws seem to be the same apart from this one black one. There we go, that's the back plate now off. Okay, so now screws. There is a screw there, but then the other one is behind the DVI. I can't get to that. See if it'll focus. Can't really get it to focus, but there is a screw behind there. I don't think I'll be able to get to that, but with all the other screws out, I should just be able to hopefully lift it up and just about have enough room to do what I need to do. So yeah, let's come back to that later. It's not really worth worrying about. At least I can easily, well, I was going to say easily get to that one, but I've just dropped it somewhere. Don't know where that, it's still on the graphics card. There we go. That one's now off, and I'm not sure if there's any other screws. That looks to be it. Let's be careful here. Yeah, I don't see anything else apart from that one screw I can't get to. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get to that at all, but it looks like the rest of the card will just lift up, but don't know what to do about that one. There's absolutely no way I can get at that, and it probably does need to come out. As you can see, my screwdriver can't get in there, and even I could unscrew it, I don't think I'd be able to screw it back in again. I don't want to be too rough with this. I really don't want to break it. But as I thought, if I look kind of through here at the fans, there doesn't seem to be anything stopping them from spinning like the seller said. He said try compressed air. I tried compressed air. That did not fix it, but to me it seems like probably the bearing's gone or something like that. I can't see anything in here. Absolutely nothing. He also said that if I couldn't find anything wrong with it, I could ship it back to him for him to have a look, but I don't really want to do that because I've paid for it. If I send it back to him, what's my comeback then through eBay? Because I don't suppose you're really meant to ship things like that to and from the seller and the buyer, so I don't really want to do that. But if I can't unscrew that screw, which I can't, then I don't see how he will be able to do anything to it. And also, I don't think that I would be able to replace the fans either. I'm just going to have a quick look in my toolbox and see if there's anything that will help me get that screw out, but for some reason I doubt it. So I've got this screwdriver which you can kind of use on an angle, but I think this bit is still too long. Yeah, that's not That's not going to fit. No. Too long, that's not going to work. I'm not really sure what to do from here. Because I don't think I'll be able to replace the fans if it comes to that, because I can't get this up. I might cut the video here, go take a look online and see if there's anything on there which may be able to help. Okay, so the only thing that I can really do to then get access to that screw is to take the actual board of the card off, and that's really not what I want to do, because then I'll have to clean the actual GPU and then repaste it when I put the cooler back on. I found that out by watching this guy who was going to water cool one. Now of course I'm not going to do that, but yeah, I think let's take a look on the back at how many screws there are. I think those ones can stay on, but 1, 2, 3, I don't know. I don't think those 4 would, maybe they would. I'm not sure which ones would have to come off. I don't really want to do that, but I don't really suppose I've been given much choice. Right, I don't really suppose I've got much choice. I'm going to have to take the board off, and there's only 4 screws, and it's the ones I said I didn't think I would have to take off. I've got thermal paste, so that's not really a problem. It's just not what I wanted to be doing. So yeah, let's turn this thing over, take these 4 screws out, then keep these ones separate from the rest. I don't want to do this, but yeah. Well, those are spring loaded. Let's not break or lose any part of that. These might be a pain to get back in, but I don't really get much choice here. I don't think it matters which one goes in which hole really, so I don't need to keep them in any sort of order. Let's unscrew this. Maybe if I repaste it, might get it to run a bit cooler. I don't know. That's always an option, I guess. Now the board should just come away from the cooler. That black screw's kind of still stuck in there. Take that out. Okay, so I just cut the camera, gave it a bit of a tug, and now, well, this happened, and now it is in 2 pieces, and to be honest, it looks like it could do with some new thermal paste on there. Now I've got to try and unplug this fan connector without dropping everything, which is easier said than done when you're trying to do all this on top of a box. This is honestly... There we go. This bit's now off. I'll just put that down on the desk without breaking it. Now, some of the heat pads quite nicely have stayed where they're meant to go. Another one's still stuck to the heatsink. Let's ignore that for now. Let's actually put the whole board off to the side. Put that down, then bring the fan and heatsink thing back up. Now what do I do with this? Well, the heatsink can just come off, it seems. If I pull... No, that screw I couldn't get to. This is when we take it out, so let's do that. That's what this whole thing was for. When I thought that I was going to be doing this, I thought taking the fans out easy, but I did not think that I would have to do this. There we go. Heatsink is out. Some of the fins are actually pretty bent. That's not my doing. I'll put that down as well. And now we should be able to get at these fans. I don't think there's anything that can be done to them. I think they're just buggered, to be honest. Seller also said maybe it's an electrical problem. For some reason I don't think an electrical problem would stop me from spinning the fans myself. It's definitely something physical, and the physical thing I think is just that it's broken. So this one is one of the culprits. I'm going to try and unplug it from its connector, or try to at least. probably blocking the camera, but there's nothing I can do about that. These are definitely in there. I don't want to break this more than it's already broken in case I do have to return it. I don't want to, but then I also don't want a broken card, but I cannot get that unplugged. Oh well, let's just... I don't know anymore. Let's try and undo the connector from in this little grippy area in there maybe. I don't know. I can't unplug that connector. I don't want to rip it or anything like that, because then I definitely would have to buy new fans. But that's definitely stuck in there. Maybe you're not meant to be able to unplug that. Maybe the user's not meant to. But I don't really see any other way of me getting a closer look at these fans. But I really don't think there's anything to say. They just don't work. It's as simple as that, I think. It's definitely not catching on the side of the plastic. It's nowhere near touching the plastic here. If you can see, stops spinning. There's definitely something physical either stuck, definitely not dust though, or maybe it's just broken. Who knows? I cannot see anything at all that's stuck in there, and I was not expecting to either. The guy said give it some compressed air. Got some compressed air. Let's just squirt it in. I've already done this once to no avail, but let's just do it again now it's apart. Don't think it will really make any difference. Now let's see if it spins. For some reason I doubt it. Yep, as you can see, not spinning. Again, let's make sure it's not catching. Nope. Absolutely stuck, and I'm sure the same will be said for the other one, so I don't really think there's much point bothering, but let's do it anyway just to show that I've given it a go. Surprisingly enough, that did absolutely nothing. The fans, in my opinion, are just completely buggered and they need replacing, so I guess I will tell the seller that they need replacing. I'll either try and get him to pay for the replacement ones, or maybe I'll just return this and buy one that works from a seller who's actually tested what they're selling and knows that it works. But I guess I'm going to have to put this back together now. I'll also have to clean the thermal paste off the heatsink, as well as off the actual GPU die as well. I'm going to have a quick break, then come back, because this has taken longer than I thought, and it's actually kind of annoyed me because I shouldn't have had to do any of this at all. If the seller had just checked that what they were selling worked properly, there wouldn't be any problems, but there we are, and these things happen, and to be honest there's not really much I can do about it. If he's not compliant, I'll just tell eBay that it's not as described, then I will hopefully get my money back. So yeah, I'll be back probably when I've cleaned off all the old thermal paste. Alright, so I thought I might as well film this as well. So I've got Arctic Clean's Thermal Material Remover and Thermal Surface Purifier. I've also got some cloths here as well, used but should still work just fine. Then I've got some Arctic Silver 3 thermal paste here. I've also got some Cooler Master somewhere else as well, but this should do just fine. So I can't actually remember what to do with this. I think you just put a few drops onto the surface. This is very crusty paste. I think it's probably about 6 years old. So just a couple of drops onto here. I'm doing the heatsink first in case it goes all wrong now, so I don't damage the actual GPU. Probably some big drops. This is quite a big surface. Leave that for a little bit to allow it to emulsify. It has about 30 to 60 seconds. Let's just leave it a little bit. Okay, I've become impatient. Let's rub it just with one of these cloths. That's definitely coming off a lot easier than if I just tried rubbing it when it was still dry. Lovely. So it's coming off. Need to do more rubbing, of course. There's some kind of gone in between the heat pipes. I'm going to try and get that too. Okay, I think I've got as much as that off as possible. Now let's put some of the purifier on. Apply several drops and then gently wipe with a lint-free cloth. So a couple of drops, I'll put it all over. Probably doing too much here, but no damage should be done. Now let's rub that in and hopefully we'll have a nice surface. I'll use a different cloth to that because that one is honestly quite grim. This one clearly used again, but I'll use a cleaner bit. And let's rub this in. But that's about as good as we can get it. Let's put the heatsink up to the side and now it's time to do it on the GPU itself. Now this I want to be very, very careful with, so I'll probably put a few less drops on. Now of course, number one first. One drop should be enough, it's quite a small area. I don't want to let it spill over the edges, I'm going to go in straight away and rub it. Definitely loosening it. I can see the NVIDIA name now coming through. Make sure that the outside parts are clean as well. I don't think they're going to come off very easily. Quite crusty the stuff that's on here, so it's probably a good job that I am doing this really. I think that should do. The actual surface of the GPU is nice and shiny. I'll put one drop of the purifier on as well, just to be safe. Only one drop. There we go. Now let's rub that in with the less dirty cloth. I don't want to dirty this up again. This doesn't seem to be drying. Doesn't matter, I'm not in a rush, so let's just give it some time. I'm just going to leave this for a couple of minutes just to see if it will get any drier. And that's a very nice looking chip. Okay, now I've never had to repaste a GPU before, so I'm not exactly sure how much of this paste to use. On a normal CPU it's about a pea or a piece of rice. This is a smaller surface area, so I'm assuming I will need less. How much less I'm not too sure, but yeah, let's give this a go. If I remember correctly, last time it wasn't too easy to get it out. It's kind of a bit of a funny colour, this stuff. Should be fine. Let go. Get off. I'm not happy with that. This stuff is grim. Yeah, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to find my Cooler Master stuff, clean this off again, and then I'll give it another go, because this has gone kind of a funny colour. I don't think it'll focus, but it's gone all gloopy and watery, and yeah, I'm not using that. That can go straight in the bin, and now I'm going to have to clean this off again. Great. Okay, here's some nicer thermal compound. This is Cooler Master Master Gel. So I guess we should apply this. I know this stuff works because I used it the other day. Yes, again, I don't know exactly how much to put on. Let's just give it a go. That should be enough. That should definitely be enough. I'll put the cap on. That can now go and live in my thermal paste and CPU cleaning box, since the other stuff's going to have to be thrown away. Now let's try and put this back together. Now, how it goes, I don't really remember. Right, I know this goes on here, but I don't know if it perfectly lines up or if I've just got to kind of guess. No, I've got to make sure the thermal pads line up as well. There's some dirt on this one which was already on it. Maybe this has been opened up before, I've got no clue. Let's just put this down and hope, and really, really hope that this kind of works. I really don't want to get this wrong or make too much of a mess, but then again, there's not really too much I can do about it. So let's just do this. I think that it should line up perfectly. There we go. I think that lined up. That was probably completely out of shot yet again, but there's not really too much I can do about it. Now I've got to put those spring-loaded screws back in to hold this heatsink down, so very carefully going to try and turn this over. There we go. Looks like it has lined up perfectly. Now let's try and get these screws in. I've never had to come across this sort of screw before. Actually, that does not look like it's lined up. It really does not look lined up. Yeah, it kind of just came apart. Not to worry. Not to worry. Let's try this again. There we go, it's lined up now, and the thermal paste just had a quick look accidentally, but it shouldn't matter. It looks like it was enough coverage. Just got a message. So let's try and get these screws, and as I was saying, I've never used these before. Let's try. Please work. Magnetic screwdriver, you're not really helping right now. I guess I've got to put quite a lot of pressure on. Yeah, that seems to be working. I'm not going to do it all the way. I'm going to do it in a cross pattern like you would with a CPU cooler. I suppose this is kind of the same sort of thing. Both of those have gone in quite nicely so far. Not all the way, of course. Let's now try and get the third one in. These are going in easier than I thought, but let's not mess this up now. Magnetic screwdrivers, very helpful. But then also they kind of drag the screws whenever you move the screwdriver. So in this instance it's not actually that helpful. And I apologise, this is out of shot. Probably or right at the edge of frame. There's not really too much I can do. I need to be able to see what I'm doing because I don't want to break anything. Now they all seem to be going in, so let's just do it all the way down now. Yet again in a cross pattern. I don't want to crack the die. Maybe that one undo just a little bit. This one can go down a lot further. Okay, the heatsink is now back on. Oh no, I wasn't meant to put that on yet because I won't be able to get the screw in for the plastic bit. Crap. That was the whole reason we took it apart. Oh God. I'm not going to film this, but I'm going to have to take it apart again. Okay, I managed to get it back attached. That was harder than I thought. I had those springy screws flying across my office and I kind of ate a bit of thermal paste by accident, but it's all good, I guess. Now I've got to try and plug in this fan connector, which I had a lot of trouble getting out. That went in a lot easier than it came out, so I'm quite happy with that. Now, what do we need to do next? I think first, let's eliminate this one black screw that I've got. I've got nothing against black screws, it's just this one has to be used for a specific purpose, while all the others can be used for anything else. So it needs to go back in there, and it doesn't seem to screw into anything. I know why. Because it screws into the back plate. So I guess we need to put that on first. That kind of makes sense. Which way does it go? That way, right? Goes like that. Well, I think it does. Yeah, that's right. So now let's try and get the black screw in, and then it should hold the back plate in place while we try and screw that in. So I've got to try and line it up. Easier said than done. Use my fingers to get it down there. Take it off just to put the screw in. Not too much of a big deal. Then we'll lift it up. Try and line that up. Put it back like that. Screwdriver. Easier said than done. As I said, this is actually a lot harder than I thought, this whole ordeal, to be honest. And not for much really, because we've not discovered anything new. I already knew that these fans were buggered, and that's exactly what I've just worked out now as well by having a look. That screw is now attached. Then another screw to go in above the HDMI. Back to using the magnetic screws now, which is nice. So that one's in nice and tight. Now it's time for the ones around the DVI. On the previous graphics card I did this too. I didn't screw them in tight enough. So let's try and do this a bit tighter. Put all the ones in as much as I can with my fingers first before having to use the pliers again. I've seen that you can get a special tool that unscrews these. I don't have that, of course. So pliers it is. It does the same function and it saves me a little bit of money. I don't suppose they're too expensive, but any money saved is a bonus really, if you can help it. And now let's try and screw these on. Try not to scratch or bend anything. Make sure they are tight. That one's tight, let's now do the one below. Okay, both of those are tight now. Now the ones on the right hand side don't seem to be going in as easily, so a lot more to be done with the pliers. Not to worry though, this doesn't really take too long. I've just thought this has probably been quite a long video, probably one of the longest ones I've done in a while. I think the one about all the computers came to about 20 gigabytes before editing. I'm assuming this one will be more. So yeah, this is going to be quite a costly video in terms of storage. Luckily, I've still got about 1.5 terabytes left until my drive is full. But yeah, I don't want to use up more than I really have to, so I'll probably compress this quite a lot before upload, just so it doesn't take hours. But okay, I think that those are now screwed in correctly. How many screws do I have left? So that's 3, 6, 9 for the top. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So the only screws that have to go back in now are the ones for the fans. They're quite a pain because I've got to line up between the fins. But magnetic screwdriver does come in very handy. Saying that, I just dropped the screw inside, but easy enough to get out. This is a lot harder than it was to take them out, but then again, it's not too much hassle, pretty straightforward. And there we go, the thing is back together now. What have we learnt in this video? Well, probably not much, apart from you should probably make sure items work before you sell them on eBay. But in all fairness, I suppose that it could have been broken in shipping, but to be honest, I highly doubt that, because these fans look like they haven't moved in quite a long time. And of course, they haven't magically fixed themselves when I've screwed them back in. That one moves with ease, that one not, real force, and then they just get stuck again. So yeah, we've not managed to fix the fans in this video. I didn't really think we would. We did not find what was wrong, but I think the only solution is to buy replacement fans. Now whether that's me who buys them or the seller, who knows. I guess I'll keep you updated in an upcoming video, but I think that that is probably it for this video. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Okay, so it's the next day and I've put the card back in the computer and I can confirm that it has not magically started working again. The card itself works fine in the computer, I didn't break it, but 2 of the fans still don't work, so the seller's not replied to my latest message yet, so who knows what's going to happen. But I suppose at some point there will be a video of me successfully replacing the fans, so that should be something that comes up pretty soon, hopefully. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. It was well long and nothing really happened, but yeah, goodbye.